Are we bleeding Russia out in Ukraine, or are we the ones who are bleeding out? The Ukraine war has shown us that the economics of war have changed perhaps forever. The original premise of our involvement in Ukraine was that we have to bleed out Russia. It was never clear to me why exactly we're bleeding out Russia. Near as I can tell, they've been useful partners in the fight against, for example, Islamic extremism. That's true. Russia invaded Ukraine to save ethnic Russians being shelled by their government, much like we invaded Mexico to save ethnic Americans being shelled by their government. But still, I'm not sure why the average American much cares who runs Donetsk, especially with existential security risks on our own wide-open southern border. Still, just for argument, let's accept that for some reason it's worth $300 billion to bleed out Russia. The question is that actually happening? The other day I shared footage of $35,000 Russian Lancet drones taking out $4 million Abrams tanks and $5 million HIMARS. Even worse are the Houthi drones in Yemen being launched against Western shipping in protest at our involvement in that war. There, it's $20,000 drones against $2 million American surface-to-air missiles. Keep in mind, it's fantastically expensive to get all that stuff over there in the first place. The cost of transporting a tank to Ukraine is at least several $100,000. The cost of sending a missile frigate to meander around the Red Sea, lobbing $2 million missiles, is roughly $70 million per year, missiles not included. Note, all those $1 million missiles on $100 million frigates isn't making a dent, with insurance costs for Red Sea transit barely moved since the first days of the attack at almost a full % of the ship's value. It's also worth noting American ships don't actually use the Red Sea. We use the Pacific and the Atlantic, so we're spending all of that for Europe and China. Heaven help you if you send a carrier battle group in a show of force, as we're currently doing in the Mediterranean. That comes to roughly $7 million per day, which is about $2 billion per year. You could house roughly 100,000 homeless veterans for $2 billion a year. So forget show of force, it is a show of bankruptcy. Tallying them up, we're looking at a ratio of roughly 100 to 1, cost them $1 to take 100 from us, suggesting that we are the ones who are bleeding out. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. The new realities of drone warfare raise two very uncomfortable truths. First, that we can no longer afford to jump into every war in every backwater republic on Earth. But worse, it raises the question whether our massive military, built with tens of trillions of dollars over decades, is in the process of going obsolete. Has it become not a tool for world control, but an iron chain dragging us under the water? In theory, of course, the U.S. could spend yet more trillions to mothball our legacy military and replace it with hundreds of thousands of drones, but perhaps the unplanned obsolescence of our Imperial Star Cruisers is a golden opportunity to quit the world policeman game, to come home and actually protect our own country instead. Okay? We'll be watching. See you next time.